You're scrolling through social media and it feels like everyone else has it figured out. The perfect skin, the perfect smile, the perfect life. It makes you wonder if that's what attraction is all about. Looking a certain way, saying the right thing, dressing just so. But psychologist Marian Rojas-Estapé has spent years studying how attraction really works, and her findings might surprise you. In this video, let's uncover 8 subtle signs that make you far more attractive than you think, backed by Marian's research and real psychology. By the end, you may realize the very thing people are drawn to has been there in you all along. Let's begin with the first sign, the one that makes people fall for you before a single word is spoken. 1. You make people feel calm. Think about how most days actually feel. You wake up already behind on time, spill coffee on your shirt, get stuck in traffic, and try to smile through the stress even when your mind is on fire. By the time you see someone, your nerves are raw, and that's exactly why the calm ones stand out. Marian Rojas-Estapé explains that our brains are constantly tracking how safe we feel around people. It's not something you do consciously, it's automatic. When someone's presence makes your nervous system settle, your body quietly labels them as safe, and your brain begins linking them to relief. That's what makes them quietly irresistible. It doesn't come from saying the perfect thing or acting cheerful. Sometimes it's just their steady tone of voice or the way they don't rush to fill silence. You find yourself breathing deeper around them without meaning to. And what's fascinating is how powerful that effect is. Studies show that when you feel safe with someone, your brain releases oxytocin, the same chemical that bonds babies to parents and teammates to each other. Most people think attraction starts with excitement, but for lasting connection, safety comes first. It's what makes people want to come back, not just be impressed for a moment. And here's where it gets interesting. Once someone feels calm around you, their guard drops. And that's when the next sign starts to show itself, often without you even noticing. 2. You bring lightness into heavy spaces. Everyone knows someone like this. The colleague who cracks a joke in a tense Monday meeting. The friend who makes everyone laugh at a family dinner argument. They're not forcing jokes or putting on a show. They just carry a kind of lightness that makes life feel easier. Marian explains that our brains form what she calls emotional anchors. We remember people less for what they said and more for how we felt around them. If your presence brings relief from heaviness, even for a moment, people's brains start tying you to joy. And joy is deeply addictive. This doesn't mean you have to be loud or constantly upbeat. It might just be how your eyes light up when you talk about something you love, or the way you can find humor in small, everyday mishaps. That spark of genuine enjoyment wakes something up in other people. Their dopamine levels rise, their tension drops, and suddenly they feel better without quite knowing why. And what's beautiful is how long it lasts. Hours later, when they think of you, their brain replays not your face or your clothes, but the feeling of being lighter. That's what makes lightness so compelling. It cuts through all the noise people carry, and once they've felt it, they want more. But lightness alone isn't enough to keep someone hooked, which is why the next sign matters just as much, even though it's far quieter. 3. Your reactions are genuine. We live in a world where almost everything feels curated. People rehearse what they'll say, polish their photos, and try to stay perfectly composed all the time. That's why genuine emotion has become so rare and so magnetic when it appears. Marian Rojas-Estapé often talks about how the human brain is wired to detect authenticity. On a subconscious level, we can tell the difference between someone who's simply going through the motions and someone who's truly present in what they feel. And when your reactions are real, when you laugh without worrying if it's too loud, or your face lights up without you trying to control it, people notice. They might not be able to explain why, but their brain flags that moment as meaningful. It becomes what Marian calls a high-intensity emotional memory. Your unfiltered joy, your surprised smile, even the way you snort, laugh at a bad pun, or tear up at a puppy video. And it's not about being dramatic or emotional all the time. It's about letting your real feelings show without editing yourself for approval. That rawness tells people you're fully here, and it gives them permission to be real too. Because when someone sees you living in your emotions instead of performing them, they start to wonder what other sides of you are still waiting to be discovered. And that curiosity is what pulls them closer. And that curiosity only grows stronger when it's mixed with something even more powerful: calm, steady self-assurance. 4. You carry quiet confidence. There's a specific kind of presence that makes people look twice, and it's not showy. It's the person who doesn't need to compete for space because they already feel at home in their own skin. Marian explains that our nervous systems mirror the people around us. When someone walks into a room calm and self-assured, everyone else's stress levels subtly dip. That's why confidence, when it's quiet, often feels more powerful than the kind that shouts. It soothes people instead of intimidating them. You can see it in small things: how someone moves slowly instead of rushing, how they take their time to answer instead of filling every silence, how they make eye contact not to dominate, but to connect. It's about steadiness, the kind that says, "I'm okay with who I am and I don't need to prove it." And people are drawn to that because it feels rare. Most of us spend our days trying to be liked, to be impressive, to be enough. So when someone shows up already grounded, our brains see it as safety, and safety is the foundation of deep attraction. This kind of confidence doesn't ask for attention, yet it naturally gathers it. And once people feel that steady presence, they start to trust you, which opens the door to the next sign, one that makes people feel something even rarer: truly seen. 5. You make people feel seen. Most people don't realize how starved the world is for real attention. We're surrounded by noise, messages, screens, endless distractions, but genuine presence is rare. And when someone gives it, it feels almost shocking. Marian explains that when you feel truly seen by someone, your brain activates the same attachment circuits that form bonds between parents and children or close teammates. It's an ancient survival response. This person notices me, so I matter here. That sense of being valued is powerful and just unforgettable. It shows up in small ways. How you actually listen when someone speaks, instead of waiting for your turn to talk. How you ask questions because you're curious, not because you're trying to be polite. Or, in a relationship, it might be noticing your partner's mood shift before they even say a word. In families, it's remembering those tiny details no one else catches, like the story your cousin told once and thought everyone forgot. It doesn't take grand gestures, just your full presence in the moment, and because it's so rare, people remember it. Long after the conversation ends, they'll think about how they felt around you, just understood and important. And that's when something quiet but powerful starts to happen. They begin to trust you, and trust changes everything. Because when people trust you, they start looking forward to being around you, which is where the next sign comes in, the one that turns curiosity into lasting desire. 6. You spark anticipation without forcing it. Think about the last time you couldn't stop thinking about someone. It probably wasn't because they told you everything about themselves right away. It was the opposite. They revealed just enough to make you wonder what else was there. Marian says that our brains release more dopamine, the pleasure chemical, during anticipation than during the reward itself. That means mystery doesn't just make things interesting. It makes them neurologically addictive. This doesn't mean playing games or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about having a life, stories and passions that don't all unfold at once. Maybe it's mentioning a strange hobby in passing, or smiling to yourself about something and not explaining it right away, or being fully present in your world instead of constantly available. That slight unpredictability wakes up people's curiosity. Their minds start looking for patterns, wondering what they'll learn about you next. And once their brain ties your presence to that sense of what's coming next, they get hooked. The best part is it happens naturally when you're simply living fully. You become like a book they can't stop reading, slowly, chapter by chapter. And when curiosity blends with trust, something deeper begins. People stop seeing you as just interesting and start seeing you as emotionally safe. And that's what the next sign is all about. 7. You're open to vulnerability. Most people are busy wearing masks, smiling when they're tired, acting confident when they're scared, pretending to be all fine because they think being real will make them look weak. That's why vulnerability is so powerful. It's rare. Marian tells us that when someone lets you see their unpolished side, your brain responds with empathy and trust. It actually releases oxytocin, the same bonding hormone released in moments of deep emotional connection. And when that happens, people stop seeing you as just interesting. They start feeling safe with you. Maybe it's just admitting you had a hard day instead of saying, "I'm fine." Maybe it's letting your voice shake when something really matters. Maybe it's showing your nervous laugh instead of hiding it. Those small glimpses of your real self tell people you're not performing for them, and that makes them want to put their masks down too. Vulnerability isn't about oversharing or having no boundaries. It's about being real, even when it's slightly uncomfortable. And in a world where everyone is busy trying to impress, being real stands out more than anything. Once people have seen your real side and still felt accepted by you, they start to see you as someone they can trust deeply, which makes the final sign even more powerful. Because this last one is what makes people want to stay close to you, not just be drawn to you for a moment. 8. You carry depth. There's something quietly captivating about people who've clearly lived, who've been through things, learned from them, and kept their softness anyway. You can feel it before they even say much. The way they listen without judging, like someone who's failed, learned, and now carries those lessons quietly. Marian says this depth, what she calls emotional maturity, is one of the most overlooked signs of real attractiveness. Our brains pick up on it instantly, even if we don't have words for it. It tells people you're stable, that you can be trusted, that you won't fall apart the moment something goes wrong. And that sense of stability makes people want to stay close. It's not about having the perfect life or pretending you've got it all figured out. It's about showing that you've fallen, gotten back up, and come out wiser. That calm strength quietly wraps around the people near you, and their nervous systems respond before they even understand why. In a world where so many people chase surface-level excitement, depth feels like safety, like home. And once someone's felt that with you, it's hard for them to forget it or to find it anywhere else. The truth is, most people never realize just how magnetic they already are. It's not the clothes or the perfect words. It's the calm you bring, the way you make heavy moments feel lighter, the depth you've earned by simply living. Those are the things people carry with them long after you're gone. So if this reminded you of someone, or if it reminded you of yourself, share it with someone who needs to know their quiet presence matters more than they realize. And if it spoke to you, take a moment to like, subscribe, and stay with us for more reminders of the beauty people often overlook in themselves. See you in the next video.